Welcome to SciSage, where everything is simple, or at least we try to make it simple. Today, we're talking about sleep, and we're diving into a claim that is, well, it's pretty out there. Imagine going from a lifetime of terrible sleep to getting what might just be a record-breaking sleep score. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly what biohacker Brian Johnson says he's done.
Yeah, you heard that right. It's a massive, massive claim. I mean, after struggling with sleep his entire life, Johnson says he's totally cracked the code. We're talking 8 straight months of perfect sleep scores. And the best part? He says these habits can change anyone's life, and you don't need his multi-million-dollar budget to do it. So the big question is, how? How did he pull this off? Well, we're going to break down his 10 core habits into 5 key areas. We've got the mindset, the evening routine, the sleep environment, the morning reset, and finally, the secret sauce, consistency and data. First things first, let's talk about the foundation for everything, the mindset.
All right, first up, and this is probably the most important part. Johnson argues that if you really want to fix your sleep, you have to change your whole identity around it. You have to stop seeing sleep as this luxury and start seeing yourself as a professional sleeper. And this is such a powerful way to think about it, right? On one side, you've got that whole grind culture thing, where sleep is for the weak. But the professional sleeper mindset, it completely flips that on its head. It makes sleep your #1 priority, because it's the one thing that makes everything else in your life a whole lot easier.
Okay, so once you've got that mindset locked in, it's time to get into the actual nitty-gritty. And that all starts with the evening routine. Think of it as a 4-step process to get your body and your brain ready for some serious rest.
So here are the 4 pillars of his evening wind-down. Eating early, ditching stimulants, managing light, and having a proper wind-down ritual. Let's dig into each one of these.
First up, eat early. Now hold on, because Johnson's last meal is at 11 in the morning. Yeah, 11 a.m. That sounds pretty extreme, I know, and he's super clear that this isn't a rule for everyone. The key takeaway here is the principle. Stuffing yourself with a big, heavy meal right before bed is just not going to work for good sleep. The real advice? Experiment. Find what works for you.
Next on the list, avoiding stimulants. And wow, this one is a biggie. Johnson doesn't mince words about alcohol. He says it absolutely decimates his sleep, and the data backs him up. He found that even a tiny bit of alcohol could slash his deep sleep by a whopping 80%. And yeah, the same goes for caffeine, which can mess with your sleep for hours and hours.
Okay, number 3 for the evening is all about light. Light is basically the main signal that tells your brain, hey, be awake, or hey, time to sleep. So naturally, in the evening, you want to kill all those awake signals. We're talking about using apps on your computer to get rid of blue light, maybe wearing some blue light blocking glasses, and of course, making your bedroom pitch black.
And last but not least, the mental wind down. This is kind of funny. Johnson has this alter ego he calls Sleep Brian. So about an hour before bed, Sleep Brian takes the wheel. If some work problem or a random worry pops into his head, the answer is just, nope, thanks, but no thanks. Sleep mode is now engaged. It's a really clever trick for just shutting down the day and telling your brain it's officially time to rest.
All right, your body's prepped, your mind is winding down. Now let's talk about where the magic happens, the physical space. This is all about engineering your bedroom to be the ultimate sleep sanctuary.
First off, temperature. It is so key. He calls it the Goldilocks principle, Not too hot, not too cold, just right. Now, everyone's different, but the main goal is to just avoid those extremes. And if you're curious about the super specifics, Johnson uses one of those fancy temperature-controlled mattresses. He sets it to a cool 71 degrees for deep sleep and then bumps it up to 73 for REM sleep.
But it's not just about temperature. He has some pretty strict rules for the bedroom. The biggest one? The bedroom is only for sleeping. That's it. No working, no watching movies, nothing. The idea is to train your body to know that when you walk into that room, there's one objective and one objective only: sleep. This even extends to sleep family rules, like everyone going to bed on time and not waking each other up, and even dealing with outside noise, like talking to your neighbor about their dog. And this leads to, well, one of his more controversial ideas.
He points out how hard it is to get two people's sleep routines perfectly in sync. So he just throws the question out there, if you can do it, could sleeping separately actually lead to way better sleep for both partners? Definitely something to think about. Okay, so you've just had an amazing night of sleep. Awesome. But what you do the next morning is just as important for keeping that cycle going. So this next part is all about the morning reset. How you send a clear signal to your body that, yep, the day has officially started.
And what's the most crucial signal for your body? It's light. The very first thing Johanson does when he wakes up is blast his eyes with 10,000 lux from a light therapy lamp. To give you some perspective, that's basically like staring into a clear sky. It is a powerful wake-up call for your brain.
Getting that immediate blast of bright light is probably the strongest signal you can send to your internal body clock. It's like shouting, "The day has begun!" And just that one action helps lock in your daily rhythm, it boosts your mood, gives you energy, and believe it or not, it actually makes it easier to fall asleep again that night. All right, so we've covered the what and the how. This last section is about taking it to the next level, achieving mastery. And it really boils down to two big ideas that tie everything together: rock-solid consistency and using data to get better. Let's talk consistency first. Johanson has a great way of thinking about this. He says you should treat your bedtime like it's the most important meeting of your day. I mean, you wouldn't show up 5 minutes late for that, right? So why would you be late for something that literally affects every single part of your health? It's all about making that bedtime totally non-negotiable. And what happens when you are that consistent? You get this: 8 straight months of perfect sleep scores. That is the power of just telling your body exactly what to expect day in and day out. It's like fine-tuning an engine for peak performance. The second piece of the mastery puzzle is data. Because think about it. How do you really know if any of these changes are actually working? He has the perfect analogy for this. Imagine training for a 1-mile race. You couldn't do it without a stopwatch. You might feel like you're getting faster, but you don't actually know. A sleep tracker is your stopwatch. It gives you the cold, hard data on what's helping and what's hurting. So let's do a quick recap of the whole system. It all starts with the mindset, becoming a professional sleeper. That mindset drives all the actions: your evening routine, your sleep environment, and that morning light reset. And the way you master all of it? Through relentless consistency and tracking your data. And that pretty much brings us to the end. Look, I get it. This whole system, it's a lot. It can feel overwhelming. But the goal here isn't to do everything all at once. The real point is just to start somewhere. So I'll leave you with this one question. What is the one habit, just one single thing, that you're going to change tonight?